Hi, and welcome to this solo episode of my podcast, Thursday episode. So I really hope it finds as well. Thanks a million for joining in, for tuning in today. So normally on a Thursday we have somebody on around NLP or hypnosis. I'm delighted to say next Thursday we're going to be speaking to Tony Gordon again around future pacing. That's a big part of neurolinguistic programming. So that should be interesting talking to Tony about that. But today I just want to mention a really good podcast that I stumbled across there. A friend of mine recommended. It's called Brain Software. It's by Mike Mandel and Chris Thompson. It's a really good podcast. They talk around a lot of great subjects around NLP and hypnosis. So if you're interested, check that podcast out. There's a lot to take over from for everybody, you know. So definitely worth checking that out. Cause I was listening to one of our episodes the other day, and they talk about a really good book by Tony Robbins. I read there I think last year, the year before. It's called Awaken the Joint Within, which is a brilliant book, really good book by Tony Robbins. So you have a chance to check that out, make sure you do. And it's also available on audiobook, which is really cool as well. Like I've have to order it on the library app as well, Borrow Box, which is really cool. The first chapter of Tony Robbins' book is around decision making, and he basically says like I mentioned before, like successful people make decisions quickly and act on them decisions as well. So so he basically says always act on a decision or do something about it. For example, if you're stopping smoking, you could maybe put I'm stopping smoking. I'm gonna breathe easier. I'm gonna be more healthy. Or they do something else to instead of the smoking, which is a really good thing. And he also says decide to get fit. Like you could make a change when you make that decision of drop down and do a couple of press ups or sit ups, and then as well as that, you can make a schedule of exercise. You know like a schedule of 20 minutes a day or whatever it is. So you're acting on a decision you've made. So which is very important and good advice and very motivational as well. You know. And then another example as well is eating healthy. Like go to the shop and get healthy food, or throw away like just could always throw away like any rubbish instead of eating it. Like just kind of making an action on your decision, which is really good, you know. And or like, just say for instance, if you're writing a book, you decide to write a book, to write down your ideas. Just start with something small to get you going. You don't have to actually do the whole thing, but make a decision to do it, and it will work out really well for you. Like for example, I'm a DJ myself, so from reading that book, I kind of make decisions quickly, and last night I thought to myself I might advertise on Dundeel for being a DJ and playing acoustic sets for people as well. So that was actually a decision that I made. So you should try it out and see how it goes. I'm interested to know how successful you'll be when you do this, when you make the decisions and act on them. Like like it was a funny one that he put as well. Like just it's he basically says like never leave the scene of an accident. Or like make a decision like to do something and to it's good. It's a really good takeaway there. And just basically the main point he makes is um, the first chapter. Act on any decision you have. So it's a really good book. Awaken the Joint Within. And also he says as well as making decisions, by using your imagination is a good thing. Like we're going to talk about future pacing, myself and Tony. And next week, Tony Gordon, not Tony Robbins. I don't know he's going to come on the podcast yet, but I might get a decision and try get him on. But yeah, so no, like imagination is a really good thing as well. Like imagine yourself like being, just say you want to play guitar. Like imagine yourself getting really good at guitar, and and you're able to play it really well. But imagining that you can then go back and look at the steps you can take to do that. So your imagination can be a really good thing. Like because when you imagine something like they say the brain can't make the difference between imagination and actually reality sometimes. So by your really imagination, getting involved with this stuff can really help you and motivate you to do well, and really get to your goals as well. So yeah, so it's important to kind of I reiterate again the importance of decision making and acting on your decisions. Like another point going back to decisions, he made in the book as well, and Mike Mandel and Chris Thompson also mentioned on the podcast. You really check this podcast out; it's brilliant. Um, he says like most people, even like who are taking drugs or cocaine or whatever, when they decide to stop, they're gonna stop. It's gonna like no like once they make that decision, they find that and they act in it, then they don't need to go for help or anything like that. Just they've decided to stop. It's like you decided to stop smoking. It's like my late dad, like he smoked for 20 or 30 years, and he sadly passed there a couple of years ago. But he stopped smoking after smoking for 30 years. Just stopped. And they say like a really good takeaway as well is you know once you stop and you're going through cold turkey, think to yourself, this is good. This is a good sign that I'm feeling this way. I'm closer. Another couple of weeks of this, I'll be away from the habit of the stuff that's not doing any good for you. So there's some good takeaways. So once again, thanks a million for everybody coming on the podcast and tuning in over the last 2 years since I started doing these. It's been great having the different authors on and singer songwriters and people around NLP, and it's been really good, really cool, and I really appreciate it. And thanks a million for tuning in as well. So it'll be interesting to hear what you're thinking of the podcast, and maybe let me know any way I could improve it, or any episode you're enjoying, or you want to hear more of or less of, would be brilliant. And as well as that, you can tune in this on YouTube as well. Most of these episodes will be on YouTube, but this one isn't. This is a solo episode, so I'm just putting this on the on Spotify. But then I'd really appreciate if you go on to my YouTube channel, Mark Lestrange YouTube channel, and subscribe to it. That'd be really brilliant. I really appreciate that. So stay tuned for Sunday. We're gonna have another Music Sunday. I'll probably do a few tunes for you, or probably share some great music I've had in the past from people on the podcast. And as well as that, I have just going to mention I have an author on the podcast next Tuesday as well. And another author's Tuesday. It's a great author that sorry, I'm just going to get the person's name. I have so many authors on. Her name is Stephanie. So stay tuned for that one next Tuesday. It's author Stephanie Potts. She's from America. So it was great talking to Stephanie on the podcast as well. So once again, thanks a million for tuning in today to Mark's Motivational Podcast, and have a great weekend. I'm sure we'll talk to you on Sunday. Good on, good. Thanks for listening. Slán.